Welcome to the podcast, The Future of Sales. In this week's episodes, we're going to reflect back on the main idea of a previous podcast we had with our guest speaker, Luc Jacobs, CEO of Nixxis. What was the main idea? Well, the main idea of that podcast was that Luc shared with us that when he bought the company in 2012, they were selling the software as an investment to their clients. Their clients being contact centers buying a CRM software or a contact center software. And what he says is that required a lot of meetings and a lot of face-to-face meetings all up to the board level at some stages. So a high cost of sales and a long sales process. Today, he says he hardly sees any customers face-to-face anymore previous to signing a deal. He says actually it all happens online. Why? Because customers don't buy the software anymore. It's on the cloud. They buy an access. So it's an operational expense, meaning that the risk level is much lower. And it also means they need less trust. They need less relationships to trust you before making a decision. Yes, and as a response, they are happy to do all of the meetings remotely these days, which actually means that the sales cost is much lower. However, he says what he has today, which he didn't have 10 years ago, was a customer success manager. That person who's responsible for once the deal is closed to make sure the implementation works and the customer stays on board. Because in the past, remember, you bought the software, you had it. It was an expense, you got it. Yes, it's an investment. Today, no, it's just a subscription. Customers can end subscriptions. So he says, I now have to invest to make sure customers stay and don't leave. So does that mean there's no face-to-face? Yes, he says. There's still 2 times a year. He says, I meet my big customers and I show them the roadmap of how the product will evolve. Those are more strategic meetings that will happen twice a year, and those are still face-to-face. So the main idea, we went to full face-to-face meetings required to build trust in order for customers to make an investment, a capital investment, to these days, full remote. Less trust is needed. Why? Because it's an expense. It's not an investment anymore. So there's less risk. However, there's much more in the face-to-face and much more investment in the post-sales, making the magic happen. Well, that was an interesting podcast. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I hope to see you next week on our next episode of The Future of Sales. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Bye.